Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. Over the month of February, I decided to challenge myself to shoot a different film stock that I've never shot before each week of Feb. A film February, if you will. The following are those 4 weeks. Enjoy. Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People, and welcome to the first episode of a new series I like to call Film February. Film February is a new series that I'm starting, where in which the 4 weeks of February I shoot a new film that I've never shot before each week. So to kick things off with week 1, we've gone for Portra 800. Obviously Kodak's Portra offering is quite a well respected and well regarded film, some consider to be the best film, and having shot 160 and 400 speeds before, I thought it was time to try out the 800 speed. And when the opportunity came up to shoot some more promotional pics for my friend Jenna, I thought, why not take this opportunity and start Film February off with a bang. So it's the first week of Film February and we're going to take the Contax 139 over to shoot some promotional pictures for Jenna. I think we're going in a slightly different direction with this shoot. I think we're going like a bit more muted, a bit more calm, sort of like promotional pictures. From the Pinterest images she sent over, I think I kind of know the vibe, but we're going to create another board just in case, sort of get some like inspiration going. And as it's week 1 of Film February, you know, we're shooting the Portra 800. So I'm excited to see how this comes out. Never shot Portra 800 before, shot 160, shot 400. Been very impressed both times. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to take the 50mm lens, the Zeiss one, and then the 135 as well, just in case, with the flash too. So yeah, let's go. Hey guys, so we're here with Jenna.
Hey.
In Jenna's room to take some pictures. The room looks pretty sick. I'll show you that now.
That is the setup. You might have to edit out.
So yeah, let's go. So like I said, I'd sort of made a Pinterest mood board of the kind of images we wanted to go for. And for the first shot, we decided to take inspiration from this shot. So I had Jenna kind of take inspiration from this pose and I sort of copied similarly the composition and it came out with this. Just really like comfortably. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Right. His no, I hate him with this stupid spray. Right, 3, 2, 1. So out of these 3 shots, I think the first one is definitely the strongest. It's pretty similar to the second in my opinion, but the direct mode of address just seems to work a bit better here. I love the orange tones to this image and how natural it feels. Immediately you get to see how Portra 800 holds up in these darker environments, although the colour all came out completely fine and maybe even more vibrant than it was in person. Unfortunately though, the third shot is a bit of an outlier here as it's got this sort of cold blue tint to the entire image rather than the nice orange warm glow with the others. So that one didn't come out great, but I'm pretty happy with the others like I said. After those, I decided I wanted to take some pictures of Jenna just in her own space. So we set up a different composition and I took these.
Right. Like that?
Yeah, that was sick. Right, 3, 2, 1. Three, 2, 1. Whilst the first image isn't anything overly special, I just prefer the second image, although it would have been nice to actually get focus here. We then decided to switch things up, so Jen changed her outfit and I changed around the angle that we were shooting on, and I wanted to try and get some pictures of her actually playing the guitar, so we ended up going with a different angle on that one. Vibes, isn't it?
It's vibes, isn't it? It smells good as well.
some angle that, Harry.
Right.
Look into the camera.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't know you were taking a photo.
I'm going for that documentary style. She can work if she wants. After that, I couldn't really think of any compositions that would come into my mind straight away. And we'd had a look through our records at that point and decided that we thought it was a good idea to recreate this shot from the film Straight Outta Compton. So whilst Jen set out her records, I set up my tripod looking down from above, and we used her ring light to light the scene. I don't know if the video does it justice, but with one hand I was holding the tripod, with the other I was holding the ring light, and somewhere along the way I was trying to shoot on f2.8, so the results are a little hit or miss in my opinion. I do think it's an interesting photo and composition, and I like that it's not necessarily maybe the right way up, but in my opinion it looks better this way. That being said, I don't mind the rest of the alternate pictures that we took. I like the sort of variation and change in posing and positioning each time. Hey guys, so you've just seen we've taken some shots down there, and we've taken a photo on the floor of all the albums, and now we're going to try shooting some portrait shots with all of the sunglasses on the head at once for quite a comical image.
Just for the lols.
We'll try it.
Don't fall out the window. Watch your head as well. No singing.
Trust me, this is all going to be well.
You should have done this when I was lying on the bed.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's because. Well, we can go again. Because there was a flash. Okay, this could completely backfire.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. Bring the third pair down a little.
Is that
Yeah,
on?
yeah, great. Now we've fixed it. This could just come out complete. I'm actually a really big fan of this image. It is a little blown out just because of how close I was with the flash, but it was just fun to take and not a picture that I'd normally shoot, so it was nice to experiment with it too. Part-time photographer, YouTuber. I'm holding it the wrong way. Part-time roadie. Let's go. These last pictures were a bit of a shot in the dark, no pun intended. So guys, we've ventured outside of Jen's room and we're in the middle of like a road, and I think what we're gonna do is take a picture. Oh, you can't see me. Take a picture of her stood like somewhere in the middle of the road with the electric guitar with the amp unplugged. So fingers crossed it looks good. I'm a really big fan of this shot of Jen just getting set up, and also this one where she's playing the guitar, although annoyingly the sign in the back takes a lot away from the subject. On some of these pictures though, just because of the difficulty sort of seeing, I did mess up some of the exposures, like this one, but I'm just chalking up to a learning experience. And finally, I really like this image in silhouette, as it's just something a bit different and sets itself apart from the others. So, how was week 1 of Film February, and did I enjoy shooting the Portra 800? I think I did. I'm a really big fan of these images and how they came out. I love that you get the couple extra stops of light without having to sacrifice image quality or grain, which is definitely really appreciated here in England, where it's about 800 speed in direct sunlight. And as for the first week of Film February, I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. You can check out Jenna and what she's got coming out down the pipeline here. Let me know what you guys thought of the Portra 800 and the first week of Film February down in the comments. And if you'd like to stick around next week for the second week, why not consider subscribing? Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. Recently, I had the opportunity to go and shoot my friend Ralph's upcoming EP cover, so I decided why not carry on the second week of Film February and shoot a film I've never shot before. Good morning everyone, I'm sure everything's already been introduced to you, but today is the day that we're going to go shoot Ralph in Manchester for hopefully his EP cover. Taking the Contax 139 quartz with us. I've got the 50mm lens on at the minute and I always forget it, so I'm going to bring my 135 with me as well. I'm not sure which film we're shooting yet. It's either Acros 100 or SFX 200, but I'm pretty sure we're shooting black and white. We'll just see how it goes. I've got a little bit of Kodak Gold left in there, so I'm going to use that to like warm up. And of course it is lovely and raining, so let's head down to the train station. So we arrived in sunny Manchester, as you can see, lovely. Just heading over to Ralph's now, and I've sort of planned semi-inspirations on the train, but just gonna see what happens when we get there really. I think we're gonna take some pictures near his and then head more into the centre. So yeah, looking hopeful. If I had a reference for how I feel when I come to Manchester, it would be F.W. Murnau's film Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, when they go to the big city and everything's crazy and opulent. That's what Manchester's like. Okay, so we're still on our way down to Ralph's, but I did pass quite a cool location on the way, which I'll show you now. Hopefully we'll be able to return to it, because I just think it looks pretty cool with all the layers. Could have him poking out of one of them. Trying to keep my eye open on the way, just for any cool spots. Still unsure as to whether we're shooting the Acros, but it's probably going to be the SFX 200, just because it is pretty grey out today. There you go. So, we'll see. Week 2 of Film February. SFX 200. Let's see how it comes out. So, we're here in Ralph's flat. This is Ralph. Hello. We're just taking some warm-up shots on the balcony, shooting the rest of the Kodak Gold, and we're going to go head out and find some locations. So, once I got to Ralph's, I decided to take some warm-up shots out here on the balcony, which came out pretty nice. I do wish I had a 28mm here just so it was a bit wider, but like I said, I'm still happy with how these came out, and we were only really shooting the rest of the old roll to warm up. Right. 3, 2, 1. I'm only getting one eye through it, which also kind of looks quite cool.
Yeah.
Boom! So we then headed out on a walk and we were sort of taking pictures along the way. Like I say, I was just trying to get through the gold so I could get to shooting the Ilford SFX 200. But like I say, I'm quite a big fan of these shots. The location we were at was quite cool. It was sort of like a levelled amphitheatre kind of thing with this cool grass hill at the top where I took some other shots. This one is definitely a standout from the roll though. I really like the pose here. It was Ralph's idea to do this pose as well, and I just think it's really funny. And I do wish that I hadn't got so much of the background in, but like I say, I'm still pretty happy with the image. After that, we took these pictures, which I really like. I think it's quite cool to shoot from a higher angle, and since the EP has thematic ties to lilies, it was just quite a cool shot. And I really like the sort of Notting Hill-esque offering of the flowers, but also simultaneously like it obscures Ralph's face. I just think that's quite an interesting shot. After shooting those last two shots of the lilies behind Ralph's ear, it was time to unwind the Kodak Gold and load in this week's unshot film, Ilford SFX 200.
There's like this car pen now.
Firstly, a little background on Ilford's SFX offering. On the website it says that Ilford's SFX 200 is a medium speed black and white film with extra red sensitivity, which makes it the perfect choice for infrared style shots. SFX 200 renders blue skies almost black and green vegetation almost white to create a stunning infrared look to your shots. Did I read this description before loading and shooting the film? No, of course not. But I loaded the film anyway and started shooting. This first picture of Ralph's in silhouette is pretty cool. I do wish I'd avoided getting the cars and the graffiti in, but to be honest, in Manchester it's pretty much impossible to do that. These two photos down a side street are also quite cool. The focus in the second one is pretty much spot on, and I just love how dark Ralph is compared to the rest of the image. It really highlights him as a subject. Unfortunately though, these shots under the bridge didn't really come out, just as there really wasn't enough light. I did try shooting the 135 here, but it just wasn't really worth it, and it's quite a slow lens comparatively, so they just didn't come out either. However, I knew this at the time, and once we got to the end of the tunnel, I decided to take another portrait just in case, which I'm a really big fan of. Our next location was this really cool looking pub, so we decided to kind of set up a scene and make it look like Ralph is almost waiting for a date, or he's sort of looking around, which I think came out really nice. And after those shots, we decided to head back to the cool spot that I mentioned earlier, the one that was really hopeful to get like a nice picture from, and just started shooting and everything felt really great. So should we see how they come out? Yeah, unfortunately something went wrong here shooting the flash. I'm not sure whether it was that typical like infrared look and because of how dark the scene was, something just messed up. But they're pretty underexposed. The images are kind of like, you can still see them, but they're just not what I was going for, which was really disappointing because I felt like they were my personal favourites from the day. But I guess that's just part and parcel of shooting film. For the last couple shots of Ralph, I decided to take some more portrait style ones. Which aren't too bad, although I do wish they were a bit higher contrast. But I am a big fan of this one, of him holding the lilies. At this point, I headed over to meet my friends Louis, Max and Elliot, and happened across this scene on the way, which is very Trevor Wisecup, day one New York street style photography, but I like it, it's fun. Later on, we headed back to Max's and we took these kind of portrait style shots, which I'm a really big fan of. It was nice getting to practice with the SFX like inside and shooting flash, and they all came out pretty nice. So, with the second roll of film February finished, what are my thoughts on the Ilford SFX 200? To be honest, it's a pretty mixed bag. I do quite like the film, although I was disappointed by how this infrared style was hyped up and not really delivered upon, at least in my images. I'm looking forward to shooting it more in the future and under different circumstances to see what kind of look I can get out of it. I think to test and to really get the best look out of the SFX 200, you would have to shoot it on a really sunny day and in somewhere with lots of nature outside. I think that would give you that sort of infrared style that the description describes. But at least you can see with my images that it works in other scenarios too. It's not just strictly limited to those shooting conditions. Hey guys, just before I forget, you can find Ralph and his upcoming projects here. Let me know what you guys thought of Ilford's SFX 200 and today's video down below. And if you'd like to see more of my photography or the rest of Film February, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People, and welcome back to week 3 of Film February, guys. Let's go. So we're just getting ready to go meet up with my friend Harry, and then we're going to drive out to Grindleford to head into the peaks to do a shoot on the Mamiya RB67. I think we're going for sort of like a natural sort of editorial kind of look, a lot of just full body portraits, maybe some more interesting compositions hopefully. Obviously I've got a pretty wide lens with my RB, so we'll see how that ends up. But as I said, we're still in Film February, so this week we're shooting on Double Film Pacific 200, which I believe is souped Kodak Ultramax. So this is what Ultramax looks like, and this is what Double Film Pacific looks like. Normally, I'm not a massive fan of shooting films where I'm not really sure how it's going to come out, but Film February, let's go. Also, as it stands, it's currently -2, so I've had to deploy some pretty interesting tactics there. So I might freeze. This might be the last ever Harry Shoots People video, guys. Let's go. Track of the day today, I'm glad you asked, is Wu-Tang Clan's I Can't Go to Sleep. So I'm just going to listen to that on repeat for about half an hour until we get there. Hey guys, so we're here near Grindleford. This is Harry.
Hello.
You might remember him from other classics. We're just going to load up the Mamiya now with the double film Pacific. And yeah, then we'll get shooting. Swag. So it's Kodak Gold that's been souped, we believe.
Sammy K.
Good to go.
Be careful your camera. It's definitely
So guys, we're 2 shots in and this model is absolutely awful to work with. Just try. Crossing a treacherous river here. Love is all you need. Hey guys, so after walking in the forest for like an hour, Harry's taken us to this church here and a small shed. So we'll see what compositions we can get here. I think we've got 5 or 6 shots left. So yeah. Let's go. Boom. Okay, what sort of works? We're just gonna head up this this really lovely steep incline apparently. So yeah, I love my hobby. This is like at least a stack of birch planks. Hey guys, so we have hiked to the top of like the hill, I guess, and we're in this area that's just complete like barren birch trees. So we're gonna try and take a couple more last shots here. I really like this setup here of maybe pushing through the 2 trees. So we're gonna try and do that now, and potentially a jumping shot.
Yeah, maybe build a nice birch house as well.
Yeah,
Got some planks around and
I'm a jungle wood fan.
yeah, fair. I do like a bit of birch. Dark oak is nice as well.
I really like dark oak. Do you know what I hate?
Dark oak and birch, nice little combo combo.
It's a bit too much. I like a dark oak and a regular oak. It's all right, focus. I mean, that kind of just looks like. I'm gonna take. Yo, what's up, guys? Boy, what the hell? I like it as well because anything I don't find funny in post, I can just cut. Big up Parachutes, people. You know the rules. Subscribe. That's a wrap, baby.
Let's try and find our way back to the car.
Oh. It all works out. That's a sweet sound of a shoot well done. Okay guys, so that's a wrap. We've got our berries, sandwich review. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Shoot went pretty well. Do you have anything to say, Harry?
Yeah, good time. Enjoyed a walk. A couple of steps in there and stuff. Good vibe.
11,000 steps I had. 11,000 steps, 11,000 subscribers. Okay guys, thank you for watching.
Subscribe down below.
Check in next week for episode 4 of Film February. Who knows what we'll shoot next. Let's go. Hey guys, me again. We're back home now. Got my Elm. Shout out to Elm. Lovely. Anyway, so I'm just about to unload the RB67, but I thought I'd talk about how the shoot went. I think it went really good in my opinion. I'm really excited to see these pictures. Obviously, there's a bit of the novelty factor in we don't actually know how they're going to come out looking. But I was sort of doing the shoot and I was like, these, if I'd shot it on like a regular film, I thought they'd come out great. So my hopes are really high. So fingers crossed, because like I'm excited to see how they came out. But looking for I don't know if it's obviously the RB's viewfinder yet again helping out. But I was sort of looking at them being like, these look sick. This is like everything's perfect, composition's great. But I guess we're just gonna have to find out. So I'm gonna drop this off shortly. But yeah, overall, the shoot went really well. just excited to see how these come out. Who knows, they could come out like absolutely unusable, but I exposed to the best of my ability. For most of it, we were shooting on 4.5 at 1/60th, and then once we got really high up, started doing like 4.5 and 1/125th. So excited to see the results. So we'll go drop this off to J&A now. So after getting the results back, how do I feel about shooting the double film Pacific? I thought it went really well. I'm really happy with the results as a whole. These 3 pictures are definite standouts. I like the sort of editorial vibe that it's given them. And I have to say I'm really impressed by how well they've come out with how weird I was expecting the results to be from the double film. I think the example pictures are slightly exaggerated to the results that I got. But I'm a really big fan of how they came out. There's a couple sort of blue scratches here and there that I'm not the biggest fan of, but with a souped film, that's the least of my worries. But yeah, really happy we came out. I'm really happy with how the shoot went as a whole. And I'd have to say, it's probably my favourite film that I've shot as part of Film February so far. And one I would definitely probably shoot in the future as well. I'd be excited to see what other results I could get from it, from metering slightly different. Because obviously I just metered for whatever the scene demanded, rather than what kind of crazy colours I could get. So I'll be looking forward to shooting that in the future. Let me know what you guys thought of today's episode and Double Film Pacific down in the comments. And if you'd like to see more of my photography or the final week of Film February, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, so as you know, Film February, week 4, the last episode, and we're loading up some Fujifilm Neopan Acros 100, or Acros 100, not exactly sure how you pronounce it. I think the plan is we're going to go meet Maya for a coffee and like a walk in the park, and since it's got a bit bright out, as you can see there, I thought we'd try shoot just a little bit. There it is for you, very lovely. So we're going to load it up today with the Contax 139 quartz. We've got the 50mm Carl Zeiss on there. And yeah, I think we're only going to take a handful today, just sort of walking about, get used to it. And then I'm going back to Hull for the weekend, so I'll probably shoot the rest of it there. So yeah, let's get this loaded in. Also, for all you guys wondering, track of the day today is Forever Young by Young Lean. Shout out to Young Lean.
The train now approaching platform 1 does not stop here. Please stand well clear of...
So guys, we're back at home in Hull, and since I have nothing to do today and it's kind of bright out, I thought we'd go for a little walk around with the Contax, just see what we can shoot. Taking a couple of pictures around the house, but I kind of want to get out and just have a walk around, see what's changed in the local area. So yeah, let's go. Also, new photo book, so a review coming soon on that too. So after my day out taking pictures in the park, we headed over to meet my mum and also to take some pictures there. Do you want to say anything to the vlog, George?
Wear your seatbelt,
Wear your seatbelt. Okay, now say subscribe.
like and subscribe.
There we go, first time, let's go. So, a little way down the road from where my mum lives, there were these horses, which we decided to have a mini photo shoot with. And I think these photos came out great. They're some of my favourites from the roll. I really like sort of the just quiet stillness that the images have. I'm also a really big fan of this image in particular. I think it's one of my favourites from the roll, where sort of one horse is looking one way, the other horse is looking the other way. And I just like having two things at different distances within the frame. Similar to the duck picture from earlier, but this time done better. I like the rest of the pictures that we took with the horses. I think they all came out pretty good. I do like this one where they're also both closer and a bit more in the frame together. And just quickly before I left, I decided to take two little sort of self-portraits using the mirror with the horses in them. Which didn't come out exactly how I wanted, just because the mirror was so dirty, but I'm pretty happy with them. And after hanging out with the horses for a little bit too long, we decided to head out to the nearby coast, and on this way saw this really cool building, so we decided to take a picture of that too. I'm not normally someone that shoots like vast landscapes and stuff like that, but I like how this image came out. It's really nice. I think the sort of low contrast of the Across 100 kind of comes out really good here, because basically the only thing in the image is this castle off in the distance. There was a bird flying past, but I think I just missed it, or the camera didn't quite pick it up, which I'm disappointed by, but I'm pretty happy with the image I got. Hey guys, we're at the coastline now. We're almost at the end of the roll. We snapped a couple of pictures here, so we're just going to head home and finish off the last two shots. Let's go. So after we were all finished up at the coast, we headed back to my dad's, and before I left, I had about 4 frames left on the roll, so we decided to take a quick little portrait session with him. I do like how these images come out. I wish there wasn't the twig in the way of this image, but I still like it. I like the composition, I like the framing. And to end the roll, he took this picture of me, which I don't particularly like seeing pictures of myself, but I think he did quite well here. So, now that we're back home and I've got the film developed, I guess it's time to go over it and talk about it. So, Across 100, what did I think? I, in the end, quite liked the results, as I have done with all of the episodes of Film February so far, but I think I'm a really big fan of these. I'm not normally one for low contrast black and white. For a long time I've always said that I just love high contrast black and white, and low contrast doesn't. It never really felt like it had a place within my photography. But I'm really impressed with these results. I did tend to shoot more like sort of still life images this time rather than portraits, which has probably helped my opinion. But of the portraits I have taken, I was a really big fan of. Like particularly this one of Maya, which I really love. I think it came out great. And as I've said before, the pictures of my dad and the horses also came out really good. So maybe I will be using Across 100 sometime in the future. It would be interesting, I think, to push and pull it and just to see how contrasty you can make it and see whether you'd lose all of those lovely details that you do get in them. My one gripe with it, just this time, was that it was 100 speed. I didn't have too much variance in the way of like shutter speed, which led to a lot of the pictures being just a little bit blurry, particularly in the park. Some of them you feel the motion of all the birds, others it just comes across as quite bad. But that's part and parcel with 100 speed films, I think. If you like this video, why not drop a like or a comment? And if you'd like to see more of my photography down the line, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. So here we are 4 weeks later, and now we can go back and review the film stocks and see what I thought of them. So week 1, Portrait 800 with Jenna, and I was really blown away by this film stock. I think it came out really nicely. The skin tones just came out great. Obviously, my expectations was pretty high already with it being an offering from Portra, and having shot 400 and 160 and been impressed by those two, obviously I would be impressed by the 800. But like I said in the video, I was very grateful to have that extra stop of light just to play around with different apertures. Would I shoot Portrait 800 again? Probably yes. Can I afford to shoot Portrait 800 again? No. However, like I say, I was very impressed with the images. And so far, I'd have to say, of the 4, Portrait 800 can rank number 1. And this is probably my favourite image from that roll. And now, week 2, Ilford SFX 200 with Ralph. And I have to say, unfortunately, I was pretty disappointed with SFX 200. I feel as though I didn't really shoot the stock in the best of conditions to get the best out of it, which was pretty unfair, so I would have to test it again to give my full opinions on it. But I ended up liking some of the images, not all of them. I think the black and white was just a bit too almost murky for my personal tastes, and especially when compared against the Neopan later, it just didn't really hold up in my opinion. Also, shout out to J03CS14 for this comment where he suggests using a filter to get the best out of the SFX 200. So that's definitely something I will be trying in the future. I have to say I really appreciate whenever anyone comments. It is greatly appreciated with constructive or negative feedback. Please only constructive feedback though. So just for the results being a bit 50-50 from that roll, I'd have to put it at number 2, just underneath Portrait 800. And this is probably my favourite image from that roll. Week 3, double film Pacific 200 with Harry. And I love these shots. It's no shock to anyone that I love medium format. I love shooting with the RB, and the Pacific 200 was no exception to this rule. I was really impressed by the photos that we got. However, personally I would have preferred to just be shooting Kodak Gold. I was impressed by the tones. I just thought that the images would have been better if they were shot on a more neutral film stock. And having this be the only time that I've ever shot souped film, maybe it's just a first opinion, it's kind of getting used to it kind of thing, so potentially maybe shooting some more suit film in the future. However, I am a really big fan of all of the images from this roll, so I'd have to put it at the number 1 spot so far, and this is my favourite image from that shoot. And finally, week 4, Fujifilm's Neopan Acros 100 II in Hull. I was pretty impressed with the Acros 100. I'd actually saved it for quite a while. I bought it in Copenhagen sometime about a year and a half ago maybe, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it, and I think I really gave it its flowers with this. The difference with the Acros was kind of that I had shot it over the course of an entire weekend, whereas its prior shoots had all been shot within a day or even a couple of hours. So with the Acros you got a real variety of images, locations and sort of lighting setups. However, this led to some images being a bit 50-50, like I do prefer how it came out in the portraits compared to how it came out, for instance, in the landscapes of like the park, for instance. However, like the rest of these films, I was impressed by it and I'd love to try it again sometime. However, it just didn't quite beat the rest of the films. So I'd probably have to put it at number 3 spot, and this is my favourite image from the roll. So the official rankings of Film February are in. The top spot being Double Film Pacific 200, in second place Portrait 800, in third place Fujifilm Neopan Acros 100 II, and in fourth place Ilford's SFX 200. As a challenge, I really enjoyed this and I recommend you to do the same. Challenge yourself to do something a bit out of your comfort zone and shoot some new stocks, because I'm in love with all the images that I've shot over the last month, and I've really enjoyed being put outside my comfort zone. If you enjoyed this video, drop it a like, and give me your ratings down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of my photography, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.